Behind closed doors, Katy Perry is freaking out about the flop of Women's World.
I feel super connected to love.
These activists didn't like that she dressed up as an Asian woman.
Katy Perry, please stop. She actually died in the courtroom.
Sing your zombie song, Robot. It's messy.
Slow down. Enunciate the word.
I have 3 kids.
Honey, you've been laying on the table too much.
It's embarrassing to have that on TV, and it was hurtful.
Katy Perry's crash is hard to ignore. Her fall from pop royalty is unfolding right before our eyes, and while her record label is scratching their heads, fans saw it coming from miles away. It all started spiraling when she decided to team up again with Dr. Luke. Seriously? After all the heat around him, that move made jaws drop, and not in a good way. Then came the wild space stunt. Like, who even asked for that? Katy's not just out of touch, she's out of orbit. Now she's pushing a doll of herself for $175? $175? For a plastic version of Katy? Who does she think she is? Fans are fed up, confused, and straight up wondering how things got so weird. Her big comeback? It's been flat, and people are starting to whisper that maybe the magic's gone. Don't get it twisted, Katy was a giant in the game. Smash hits, sold-out tours, top spot on American Idol. She had it all. I even saw her live once. She lit up the stage. But lately, it's like she's been stuck in a glitch. And now, here comes the part you might not want to hear. We gotta rewind to June of last year. That's when the cracks really started to show, and everything began slipping fast. Then came the first snippet of Woman's World. And whoo, it flopped straight out the gate. The track felt lazy, aimless, and just plain weak. But what really set fans off? The moment it dropped, people realized Dr. Luke was all over the project, and alarms started blaring. Yeah, Dr. Luke's had his hands in some major chart toppers, but let's not forget, he's also been exposed for some disturbing behavior. So why in the world would Katy bring him on board? It's beyond bizarre. The moment fans caught wind of his involvement, they were done. Remember when Doja Cat called him out too? She basically said she made her whole album solo, yet he still tried to grab the credit. That speaks volumes. If you don't already know the backstory, Kesha sued Dr. Luke in 2014, claiming he did some seriously awful stuff to her. That lawsuit shook the industry. So for Katy to turn around and work with him, especially on songs like Woman's World and Lifetime, tracks that scream female empowerment, fans saw right through it. How can you drop feminist anthems, but then give credit and cash to someone accused of violating women? It feels off, way off. People were side-eyeing that hard. On the Call Her Daddy podcast, Katy tried to walk it back, saying he was one of many collaborators. She defended it by pointing out that he helped make California Girls and Teenage Dream. She thought lightning might strike twice. But seriously, did we all hear the same song? That wasn't it. Katy said, but the reality is it comes from me. She claimed these songs were about her personal growth, her so-called metamorphosis. But then she added that Dr. Luke helped facilitate all that. One of the writers, one of the producers. It left a bad taste. Someone online nailed it. The irony of dropping a song that praises women while working with Dr. Luke. Oof, that hit deep. Katy, girl, nobody saw this coming from you. Even actress Abigail Breslin stepped in and took a swipe, basically saying, working with known abusers in any industry just keeps pushing this twisted idea that men can do awful stuff and walk away clean. And she's not wrong. Let's not forget, Kesha said she was drugged and harmed by Dr. Luke at a party. That case dragged on for nearly 20 years before they finally settled in 2023. He denied everything, of course, but the damage was already done. The internet doesn't forget. Even though Women's World featured our internet icon Trisha Paytas, the whole production still reeked of mixed signals. The music video? Directed by a man. Most of the creative decisions? Also by men. So yeah, people were saying loud and clear, this ain't feminism, it's fake feminism. It doesn't feel real. And in 2025, fans crave authenticity. That's what makes things pop. This question mark, this just feels staged. Then on August 9th, Katy dropped Lifetimes, her second single and music video from 143. For this one, she jetted off to Ibiza, whatever. Point is, it looked more like a luxury vacation than a shoot. But plot twist. Just a few days into filming, Spanish officials showed up. Yup, authorities were called to the scene. Turns out Katy's production team didn't get permission to film in Saline Natural Park, a protected area. The Ministry of Agriculture said flat out her crew skipped the legal process. Another PR mess. And when she's not pushing Dr. Luke into her tracks, she's out here throwing pizza slices at her fans. Actual pizza, just flinging it into the crowd. Like, what? Some of us don't even like getting caught in the rain, let alone pelted with greasy pepperoni in public. Imagine showing up to a concert all excited and bam, someone hurls a slice of pizza straight at you. That's not a joke. That's literally what Katy Perry was doing to her own fans. If you think I'm exaggerating, go look it up. It happened. One person commented, "In Mexican culture, food is only thrown to dogs or other animals, never ever at humans. Super rude." Another fan, Gary, said, "I'd be pissed." And honestly, same here. Picture having to run to the bathroom to wipe off tomato sauce from your shirt, and maybe even your face. That's not fan service, that's just disrespect. Someone else named Kay wrote, "I'm allergic to dairy and gluten, so I would be pissed." And yeah, imagine catching a slice to the arm and having a legit allergic reaction because a pop star thought it'd be funny. That's not quirky, it's careless. I mean, who even does that? Can you picture Taylor Swift throwing pizza? Lady Gaga? Ice Spice? Not even close. This is pure Katy chaos. And she doubled down on that wild energy when she hopped on a space flight. Yep, she really went to space. We all remember that infamous 11-minute ride. She shot up into the sky to promote her album, but let's be real, it felt more like a PR stunt than anything. And yeah, it got attention, but it also had folks raising eyebrows about climate impact. Look, I'm no environmental scientist, but even I know that rocket launches aren't exactly helping the planet. All that fuel, all that pollution, it's giving, we just shaved a few years off Earth's lifespan vibes. Couldn't she have waited until the tech was cleaner, or at least a little less damaging? People aren't mad for no reason. We're living through wildfires, floods, and record heat, and meanwhile, pop stars are out here joyriding in space for clout? You ever just stop and realize we're not really living in the future? Like, seriously, how are we launching people into space, but I still gotta refresh Instagram 5 times just to load one video? That's not futuristic, that's frustrating. Think about it. In the real future, stuff should be instant. No spinning wheels, no loading bars, no endless refreshes. But here we are, still stuck waiting like it's 2012. And shout out to everyone using Cricket, Virgin Mobile, or any of those budget plans, you really know the struggle. I'm on Verizon, and even I'm sitting here wondering, what is my phone even connected to? Dial-up? Meanwhile, Katy Perry's out here taking 11-minute rides into space. For what? Promo? Ego? Who knows? What's clear is, it didn't boost her image. In fact, it kinda backfired, especially with a tour coming up. The whole thing felt out of touch and weirdly timed. And when she tried explaining it, man, it was all love, this, and soul that. The way she talked about the space trip had people convinced it wasn't even real. It just didn't sound like something a regular human would say. Like, Was she floating in zero gravity or just floating in her own fantasy? The internet hasn't forgotten and probably won't. That space ride is gonna follow her forever. And honestly, it kind of feels like a part of her stayed up there. Maybe her common sense. Because while she's pushing this new tour, people are wondering if she should have spent less time suiting up for space and more time prepping her vocals, her choreography, something. Sure, you can call yourself an astronaut now. That's cute. But can you still call yourself a top-tier pop star? That's where things get shaky. Even Beyoncé gets heat sometimes for ticket prices or empty seats, but no one ever doubts her stage game. When Beyoncé steps out, she delivers. Katy? At this point, people are starting to wonder if she's more focused on space boots than stage boots. Katy Perry's comeback? Nah, this wasn't a comeback. This was a cry for help. People are straight up saying she should have just stayed low for a while, especially after Taylor Swift came through with the Eras Tour and absolutely reset the standard for live performances. Compared to that, Katy's show looked like a warm-up at a middle school pep rally. One person didn't hold back. "This is the worst choreography I've ever seen in my life." Another said, "It's giving school talent show vibes." And to be honest, they're not wrong. She's been slipping into that energy for a minute now. But this show? This was a new low. Let me jog your memory. Remember that Vegas residency? Or maybe it was during one of her earlier tours, when she literally had toilets on stage. Not a joke, full-on toilets, with fake poop popping out of them. Yes, you read that right. Poop, on stage, during a pop concert. And if that wasn't enough, the iconic California Girls was performed with toy paper, singing poop characters, people in bathtubs. It looked more like a messy parody than a celebration of a hit track. Fans who loved that song were shook. One person even said they couldn't listen to it the same way after witnessing that disaster. And yeah, she wore a sparkly toilet paper outfit too. Can't make this up. The internet wasn't quiet either. One commenter said, "Yeah, I worked with Katy Perry. I played a giant dancing turd." Someone else asked, "What is this tour even about? I want a refund, and I didn't even go." And then there was Gadget Girl, who dropped the mic with this. "This is basically a live-action metaphor for her career right now. Is this a South Park episode?" The crowd isn't laughing with her anymore. They're laughing at her. This isn't quirky. It's just chaos. And then came the classic damage control moment. Guys, cut her some slack. This is just her side gig. She's really an astronaut now. Yep, Katy Perry brought up her Blue Origin space trip again. Because apparently, floating above Earth for 11 minutes somehow makes everything make sense. On opening night of her tour, she hit the stage and, of course, started talking about space. She even pulled two fans up who were wearing black and blue NASA-branded suits, snapping a photo and saying, "I want these gentlemen on stage because they're dressed like my current timeline." Girl, what does that even mean? Nobody came here for NASA cosplay, they came for a show. But despite all the chaos, Katy did finally address the internet firestorm. While the online world's been roasting her, her most loyal fans have been throwing her life rafts. They even went all out and bought her a Times Square billboard just to show love. The message lit up the heart of NYC and read, "Congratulations on opening week of the tour. We're so proud of you in your magical journey, and we love you to the moon and back. Know that you are safe, seen, and celebrated. We'll see you around the world. This is just the beginning from your worldwide cats." Katy responded with a heartfelt Instagram message saying, "Please know that I'm okay." She talked about doing a lot of inner work, knowing who she is, and not letting the noise shake her. She quoted her therapist, who once told her, "No one can make you believe something about yourself that you don't already believe." She added that when she does feel shaken, It's a sign to look deeper into what's really going on inside. When the online world tries to make me a human piñata, I take it with grace and send them love, she wrote. Because I know so many people are hurting in so many ways, and the internet is very much a dumping ground for the unhinged and unhealed. But what matters most to her? Seeing fans' faces in the crowd, singing along, sending love notes, and making her feel that warmth. Katy said it herself. I fall, but I get up and I go on and continue to play the game. She called her journey battered and bruised, but insists she keeps chasing the light, and when she finds it, a new level unlocks. And honestly, she's no stranger to controversy. Katy Perry lives for these moments, and she's been riding waves like this for over a decade. Flashback to 2013, remember the American Music Awards? That performance where she dressed up like a geisha? Yeah, that one. And no, Katy has no connection to Asian culture, yet she went all in with the outfit anyway. It didn't take long for the backlash to hit. Cosmopolitan even called her out, saying the whole thing looked like a mashup of different Asian cultures that didn't even go together. Japanese-style kimono, Chinese-style collar, it looked confused like a costume party with no rules. And people weren't having it. One commenter said it best. It's disrespectful to treat being a geisha as a costume when it takes a lifetime of training to become one. Facts. That would be like watching Benson Boone hop on stage dressed like a monk just for kicks. It crosses a line, but that's kind of Katy's pattern, right? Pushing boundaries, stirring reactions. Cornrows one day, spacesuits the next, anything to keep people talking. The problem is, the stunts are starting to feel more desperate than daring. And it's not just adults raising eyebrows. Even Sesame Street had to pull the plug on her. Yup. Katy filmed a cutesy duet with Elmo, a family-friendly remix of Hot and Cold. But once producers saw the final cut, they said, nope. Too much skin. Too risky for the kiddie crowd. So guess what? That episode never aired. When Sesame Street, of all places, decides you're too much for TV, that's a serious moment. Katy Perry got banned from Sesame Street. That's not edgy. That's just awkward. But let's be real. Do you think Katy Perry hit this low all on her own? Or is there more to the story? 'Cause it's not just her. Her record labels got hands in this too. And let's not forget American Idol. They've been airing the most awkward, messy moments like they want her to crash. Feels like she's getting set up, doesn't it? Something's off, and it's not just the choreography. So I want to hear what you think. Has Katy been making all these choices solo, or is the machine behind her pulling strings and throwing her under the bus? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't hold back. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Things are only getting messier from here. Peace out.